Hello campers and friends. Today we're going to make fried daylilies. Some people call them daylily fritters. We're going to use common orange daylilies that you can find on the side of the road. You may have them growing in your garden. They're very pretty. The reason they're called daylilies is they bloom in the morning and then they close up and they're done. They're only good for one day. So we don't have to feel bad about picking them and eating them. We're not going to eat the whole flower today. We're going to just use the petals. If you're curious about what the other parts are called, there is a pistil and stamens, and there's a really easy way to remember which is which. The pistil sounds a little bit like pistol, and it has it's like a straw, so it's open, like if you think of a pistol, how it has that open tube. And there's only one of those. And the stamens, there's several of. So that's really easy. I'm going to gather our materials and show you what we need to get started. So here's what we're going to need to make fried daylilies. We need daylilies. We need some kind of pancake batter. This is a pancake batter that you're just going to add water to. Some you need to add eggs and milk. But this one you just need to add water. So I have my water. I have a measuring cup. The recipe says to do 2 cups to 1.5 cups of water, but we're going to try equal ratios because it's better if it's a little bit liquidy for the daylilies. I like to add cinnamon to everything. I think it adds a nice flavor, so we're going to add some cinnamon to this. You need a bowl to mix everything in. You're going to need a spoon for stirring, and you're going to need a spoon to work with cooking. I'm going to use an electric skillet to cook, just because that's easy. I'm cooking this outside because I find that the smell of hot oil can really linger in the house, and I don't really like that smell. I'm using olive oil. Vegetable oil might work a little bit better, but I only have olive oil. And then we're going to need, I have a plate lined with napkins, or you could use paper towels to soak up the grease. I have, again, extra spoons for getting the fritters out of the hot oil. And then what makes it really delicious is we're going to sprinkle some confectionery sugar on top. Some people call it 10x sugar. And if you watch the Great British Baking Show, they call it icing sugar, which I think is pretty funny. This is the sieve that we're going to use to put that in. All right, so I'm going to get ready and show you how we're going to do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the oil warming up in my electric frying pan. I brought the lid out because oil can get so hot it can catch on fire. And if you should have fire on a pan, the best way to put the fire out is to just put the lid on top of it. So I'm going to put this under the table. We won't need it, but just in case. So I have the oil heating up in the pan, and while that's getting warm, I am going to mix up the batter. And you want the pan to be fairly hot, but not, you don't want to catch it on fire. I would say if you're using an electric frying pan like 320, 325, and if you're doing it on the range at home, you would do a medium-high heat. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of our instant pancake batter, and I'm going to put in about 1 cup of water. And remember I said cinnamon's going to make it delicious. So I'm going to put in lots of cinnamon because I really like cinnamon. That was really a lot. Okay, we're going to mix that up. And you want it to be kind of liquidy because you want it to be a light batter so that it gets nice and crispy. We might even, nope, that looks perfect. I can smell the cinnamon. It smells delicious. So that's mixed. We're still waiting for our oil to get warm. So while we're doing that, we'll pull the petals apart. And if you remember, we have the petals, the pistil, and the stamens. But we're just going to cook the petals today. Now there's a way that you can tell if your oil's hot. You get a little bit of water and you flick it in. That oil's not quite hot yet. It's bubbling a little bit, but when it's nice and hot, you get a crackling sound. Okay, so you can hear the oil popping, so we're ready. So I'm going to take each petal and dip it in the batter, and then I'm going to just lay it in here, and it's sizzling up, and I'm sure you want to see that. So when you get the little bubbles on the top, then you can sort of flip it. Oh, these look good. They're not quite ready. This is very hot. You're going to need a grown-up to help you with this. Do you remember at camp we could barely wait for them to be finished and we would burn ourselves? So that's all there is to it. What makes them extra delicious is if you put a little of the powdered sugar on top. I like to use a sieve, but if you don't have a sieve, you can just sprinkle it on with your fingers. But this gives you a really professional small coating, which is nice. All right, let's see. Delicious. Good luck, campers and friends. I hope you enjoy making daylilies.